Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It's spooky season, so a spooky craft is what we're doing. I hope you can stick around. It is going to be awesome. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy. The link to my shop is in the description of every video. Hello! Hope you've had a fabulous week. If you guys feel it in your heart to go to Face of Halloween and give me a vote, they're free, or you can pay, but do the freebie. I would really appreciate it. Because of you, I'm now in 6th place. So, I'll put a link in the comments. Thank you! This was our inspiration for today's craft. This doll right here, which is actually not a doll, it's just a dress. But I went on a thrift trip to Cincinnati one day. I think it was last year, maybe the year before that, don't know. But I found this and I thought, how awesome is that? And I grabbed it and had no flipping clue what I was going to do with it. Well, as you can see, I put her on a stand, a doll stand, and gave her a head that she's holding in her arm. I always loved the Headless Horseman ever since I seen the Disney version, the cartoon. And this was just something that hit me. And so that's what I did. And we're going to make a larger version of that today. I found this dress, paid up for it, but it's fabulous because it's like a witchy dress and perfect for this time of the year. So, got me a head, and I've got me a cheapy doll stand, one of the metal ones. And this is what we're going to use besides a little bit of cotton, some of that cotton that you stuff pillows with, and of course our handy dandy hot glue gun. Okay, we've got our, I think it's called polyfill, our stuffing, basically. I just took a teeny bit of it, stuck it in this right arm, just enough to where it looks like there's something in there, you know, so it doesn't look empty. And, you know, I'm kind of fudging around with it, spreading it out. And then I'm going to take my head and I'm going to look at kind of positioning. Because she's, you know, obviously going to be holding her head, you know. She's going to be a headless doll. Okay, got me some thread. And the thread, of course, is black to match the dress. We have to be matchy-matchy. You don't want it to stick out like a sore thumb. And I used quite a bit of thread because I'm doubling up on it. Little tip, if you don't already know, if you use beeswax on your thread, it makes it a lot stronger. So, I always use beeswax when I am sewing. Or before, you know, I sew. I always coat my string. Okay, and then you're going to thread a decent length needle. I'm going in from underneath the dress. I'm going to go up through the hole of the neck on the doll, and then go all the way through, and come out the top, and then we're going to attach it to, you know, where it sits on the dress, you know, which is looking like kind of like the shoulder area. And then we're just going to go back through the head again, out the neck, under the dress, and pull it through as far as we can. We're going to leave a little excess inside the dress because we want to be able to tie a knot. And then we're just going to keep doing it over and over until we're out of thread, back and forth through the neck, up through the head, reattach to the shoulder of the dress, back through the head, through the neck, and through the dress, and then, you know, repeat. Because we want this secure. Well, now we are going to use some glue, but I'm doing the sewing on here too, just kind of like an extra precautionary measure, because this is a porcelain doll head, and it, you know, it's heavy. It's heavy, so it needs a little bit of extra. A little extra. One thing, you definitely don't have to know how to sew a lick to do this. Because I can't sew a lick. So this is what I got here. I'm just kind of showing you how thick that is, how many times I went back and forth. And so it's secured to the dress pretty much. Now I'm just kind of checking out how it's going to look. Just giving it a gander. Making sure everything's in the right position. Now I'm taking a little bit of stuffing and stuffing the body. Or what would be the body, I guess you could say. Stuffing the dress to make it look like there is a body in there. And putting a little bit of stuffing in the other arm. And I'm going to actually sew this arm down onto the dress too. This left arm. Going to take a little bit of the black thread again with some more of the beeswax. And we're going to stitch it onto and attach it to the dress. Okay, I am manhandling this. Manhandling this doll stand. Basically, just pushing those pieces down because the arms are going to, of course, down. And they're going to fit inside that dress and act as our arms, basically. I also spread it into like a V shape, which you're going to want to do. But you're going to want to make sure you do that V shape while it's inserted into the base. The metal is strong, but it's pliable enough. I'm not the Hulk or anything like that. I'm your average Joe, so you should be able to manage it no problems. If not, grab your husband. But I put some hot glue to keep it there, and also flip it over and put some in the top so it will not come out of the base. Next, you're going to take your doll stand, you're going to feed it up through the bottom of the dress, and you're going to feed those metal arms into the dress arms. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but part of the process. Now, I screwed up on filming. Thought I was filming, but actually wasn't filming. So there's a portion here that is missed after this. And I do apologize, but, I can't do it over. Once it's affixed, there's no do-overs. So, we have our stand in the dress, and we're going to take our hot glue gun, and to the back of the dress, we are going to affix the metal to the fabric with the hot glue. Now, I always use Gorilla Glue brand hot glue. I honestly don't know if it makes a difference, but, you know, no complaints yet. And you're going to do that on both sides. You're going to fix it with that hot glue, the metal. Now, all of a sudden, we're jumped to where the head is completely attached to it. Yeah, I apologize. But I did put a little bit of glue on the one side of the head and underneath on the neck. And I wrapped that arm around and just affixed it, the fabric, onto the head to make it look like, you know, the arm is holding the head. I also put a little bit of the hot glue inside there and then shoved some of that polyester fill in there to fill it out a little bit more. So, you know, obviously it looks like there's a body in there. And then, of course, I had to add a little bling bling. This is just an old plasticky kind of crappy piece of jewelry, you know, like your costume jewelry. And I got a little tiny plastic spider, and I'm just going to take a dab of hot glue and glue that onto the front of that. Her dress is kind of low cut, and it shows a lot of that polyester fill, which I wasn't particularly happy about. So I came up with this idea to stick in that low cut. And I'm going to glue that on with some hot glue so it doesn't show that polyester from the front as much. I think it works out. I don't know what you think, but I think it worked out pretty good. I had some other stuff that I tried prior to this, but this is what I decided on, which I think worked out pretty good. Here is the final product. Now, suggestion going forward, you could always add hands if you wanted to. You could glue a pair of doll hands in there if you want. My problem is I did not have, I had some sizes that would have matched it, you know, would have been the proper size. But unfortunately, I didn't have a matching pair. So, if you can get a hold of a matching pair of hands, you could do the, you know, glue the hands in there. That would look pretty good. But unfortunately, I didn't have any hands. But I still think it looks good just like this. Still have the illusion of a doll that lost its head. I hope you enjoyed our craft. Let me know down in the comments. What do you think? You think I'm crazy, or do you like it? I do have a few more crafts up my sleeve, which look for those in the next week. Until next time, guys, happy crafting. Bye.